I was talking with a friend yesterday and I asked her how she was doing, and she said, I'm good enough. And she said that that's her term right now. That's like the buzz term that she's answering when people ask her how she's doing. And so I started thinking about what that means, good enough. And I have been thinking a lot about my good enough, or what my good enough was a year ago or 2 years ago, what my good enough currently is, and what my good enough might be. And I think that as an artist, my good enough is shape-shifting based on what is happening around me.
Almost like your hands are almost like you're doing your own CPR. It's interesting because when your energy is going up, but then you sort of settle into the up, it's like it's still rising, but it's not reaching. It's like you arrive as high as you can, and then that's like your new normal.
I've always called myself a community builder. I feel like I've said this term 1,100 times, and even to you, Zoran, I've said this term 1,000 times. And it took me a global pandemic to really identify what that means. Like, who is my community, and what does it mean to build it, right? And by sort of necessity, at the start of the pandemic, I wanted to bring people together because I was aware that isolation was a real thing, that people were alone in their homes with nowhere to go and no one to talk to. And if people didn't have a strong support system, they were incredibly isolated. And I thought about those people who are part of my community, and I wanted to provide. I have been continually assessing over the past year what it really looks like to be an organizational leader, and what ideally I want Ballaro Dance to become is a service organization and a space for dancers, non-dancers, artists, that people can come and feel supported in all of these different ways.
There are definitely, this idea of being pulled and twisted and then having like settling in freedom, or settling into a part of yourself, if that makes sense. It's like you settle into this part of your character, and then I'm into this. It feels very like bipolar or frenetic or split personality, because that's what it felt like.
So when I'm dealing with an injury, my good enough is very different. When there's a global pandemic going on, my good enough is very different. And I think what's exciting to me is being able to assess and to really be reflective about those different points in time, and to think about when something that maybe once felt very precious isn't good enough, something else becomes way better than good enough. It becomes close to perfection.
Thinking about, I feel like all of us, something I was urging the dancers to think about is how to make this an authentic experience. That, for me, like grabbing pushing up that stability was like, this leg is like dead to me right now, but for other people right now, it's like, I've lost my job, I have no work, someone is ill, this thing's happening. Like, there might be other things in this current moment that we can be thinking about. And I even have, been having conversations with people about how, like, your emotional state, even in one day, you can like be so positive, so high, like elated, and then the next minute you're like sitting on your bed weeping in a tiny ball because you just feel so hopeless.
And so our world is constantly changing based on what is entering and exiting our personal space, and our priority list, and our values, and all those sorts of things. And so I think at this moment, I'm looking differently at what my world is. And so as the needs of my health, or the health of my dancers, or the wellness, or the mental health, or the ability to connect with people, and the desire to really connect with people, it's like those things become more important to me than maybe the success or the execution of the art itself. It's taken this kind of monstrous moment to really look at that, and to have the time and the space to really reflect on it, and to think about moving forward what will be the good enough, and what will continue to be a priority, what will continue to be very important to me, and what might not be important, you know.